Hi everyone, this is Paul Matthews and welcome to the MYOB Greentree update for January 2019. As usual, what am I going to go through? I'll be going through the 2019.1 release, overview of what's in this release, with the theme very much being on payroll compliance. The usual bit on feedback and questions as to where to get in touch. But let's get into it. 2019.1.0. The release was available from the 16th of January on the Greentree FTP. The release notes are available. They're available on the campus and on the Salesforce knowledge base. Highlights of what's in this release. We've got compliance, we've got payday filing for New Zealand. Some accrued annual leave calculations, also New Zealand. Long service leave for Australia. STP, some enhancements to the lodgements form, again Australia. Let's get away from compliance a bit. We've got the Windows Designer, the ability now to move trees. Properties added to line item changes. It's a bit of a mouthful. System script for enterprise search to help us do some troubleshooting in that area. Statement there, AutoScan now runs on 64-bit. Some browser enhancements, telemetry, and some bug fixes. Bug fixes detailed out in the release notes, but I'll touch on the areas that we've covered. So payday filing. This is very important, clearly, for New Zealand sites running payroll. The release notes cover this in some detail, but I'll be doing a separate video for this, and I'll be going through the steps in full. Aim of the video is to walk you through it a bit more in a video sense, clearly, but also something you can put in front of customers if you need to. I'm in the middle of putting this still together, but it's going to be available on the knowledge base in Salesforce around the beginning of next week. 22nd of January is Tuesday next week. I'm hoping to have it available before then. Watch out on the Salesforce discussion groups, because that's where I'll put the update up as to when it's available. But as I said, the release notes covers this in quite a bit of detail as well. The two should go together. Accrued annual leave calculations again for New Zealand. To support leave without pay, some changes have been made. At a high level, these are changes to the HR employee maintenance form and changes to the event types. Again, the release notes cover this in quite a bit of detail, but I'll do this in video format as well to step you through it. And I'll put this together as part of the payday file, and I'll identify where those time slots are. So again, that'll be coming out early next week. If you just want to be a little bit across it, have a look at the release notes. Long service leave for Australia. So in the state of Victoria, there were some changes that were effective from the 1st of November. Release notes cover those in detail as to what those changes are. But a quick screenshot there. Down in the bottom right-hand corner, there's some changes to the accrual rule level maintenance. Again, that's a bit of a mouthful. Look to the release notes for those details. Some enhancements to the SPTP lodgements. So on the lodgements screen, again, this is Australia. But again, for those people who are familiar with this, in the bottom right-hand corner, there's now two additional buttons there. Check for prior submissions and markers completed. That option also changes to markers uncompleted where appropriate. Check the release notes that talk about how these work. issues around communication and where people were submitting things twice, and also to check what the IDs are. The release notes contain this in quite some detail. To move away from compliance, moving trees in the Windows Designer. So this has been long awaited for by some people. So along with the introduction of the Windows Designer itself, and then followed up with the ability to move UDFs around, in 2019.1.0, you can now move trees. Okay, so just a couple more screenshots. So I've just chosen customer maintenance from the demo system. So as you can see on the left-hand side of my screenshot there's the standard trees that we're familiar with on the customer side. Nothing new at that point. I'm just going to choose that second tree there that I've highlighted, and I'm going to move that at a very basic level just to show it can be done. And there it is. I've moved it down to the bottom left-hand corner, very simplistically, onto that main tab. Now I've just put it in there just to demonstrate the moving of it, and selected the tree branch by clicking on the tree there. But now, of course, it's within Windows Designer, so I can now, as I've said at the top there, you can color it, relabel it, just move one tree if I want to, just to show that that can be done and how it might be used. So hopefully the people who are asking about when trees were going to be available to be moved in Windows Designer, that's now available. Hopefully bring some good benefits for you and some sites that you've been looking to introduce that with. Moving on. This came from the Ideas portal. So properties to identify line item changes. So properties have been added to line items to give the ability to track changes better. So these have been added: entry user, entry timestamp, modified user, and modified timestamp. So again, this could be built into some ANA rules to capture this level of detail. So these are available in jQuery, Inspector, and the report writer. And obviously could be used now with any kind of ClickSense reporting. So just a quick example of this. For no particular reason, I chose sales orders. I remember an instance where I was trying to do this once before. So in sales orders, on a line item level, you'll now see those four fields that I've identified out: entry timestamp, user, modified timestamp, and modified user. A system script for enterprise search. So there in the system scripts, you'll see another one there, extract properties. So as you can see on the right hand side where we've detailed out what the script does. So this is to assist with some troubleshooting. So it shows all the classes that are indexed for enterprise search. So if you're looking to see what's there without having to sift your way through it, you can run it as an output file as CSV or on screen. And there's an example what it looks like on screen. So some further enhancements that have come out. As I stated earlier, AutoScan is now on a 64-bit. Browser enhancements on the timesheet review. So we've added in the payroll tran type. There are some sites that were payroll-only sites, wanted to look at that payroll tran type as part of their approval process in the timesheet review on the browser. That's now been added in. Telemetry. This is added into the general system preferences. And just a caveat here, this is not in the release notes or not on the online help. I'll show you a screenshot in a minute, but we would request that telemetry is not turned off. And if you have any questions or concerns, then please contact Jean, and just a reminder of Jean's email address there. So this is where telemetry sits. So on the General System Preferences, you'll now see a Telemetry tab with those default settings. Please don't change those, at least not without checking with us first. And also set up is a task queue for telemetry, as you can see there on the second screenshot I've put in. And again, just to highlight this, please don't turn it off. If you want to, or you've got concerns or questions, then please get in touch. And just to remind you from that previous screen, this is not in the release notes or on the online help. So some bug fixes. These are detailed out in the release notes, but just to go through these. Try to cover a range of topics. So there are bug fixes for AutoScan, cache management, EDI, HR payroll, inventory, the print and task queue, purchase orders, sales order / Windows Designer. There's one about the field, the sales order number field, now working with Windows Designer, workflow, some various ones that cover across the board, and there was one on consolidations, which has been an issue for some people not licensed for consolidations, but having a date request there. Windows Designer, and on the browser there's leave requests, HR leave requests. There's a permissions error, which for those that have done those leave requests, there was an ANA rule as a workaround, but now that's resolved. Okay, this video today has been fairly brief, mainly because there's some compliance work that still needs to be done, and these will be done as separate videos rather than doing a one-size-fits-all and making the video quite long and not relevant to some people. So I'll raise the question again. Are these videos I'm doing of use? Obviously, they vary from release to release as to the content and how much detail I might go into. More detail, less detail, etc., etc. Please feel free to email me if you've got any questions on any of these. I'm happy to go off, find the answers, or provide any more detail. So please get in touch. So again, brief, but hopefully it gives you, without taking up too much of your day, an overview of what's coming in this release that's now available. Thanks for your time. Cheers.